Miami is expecting its busiest travel weekend since the pandemic began, with more than 110,000 people arriving at their airport every day. NBC News correspondent Shaquille Brewster joins us now from Miami Beach, Florida. First of all, Shaq, you poor thing, I'm so sorry about your assignment today.
You should feel bad for me, Savannah.
Yeah, real bad. Look at that. God, it looks terrible. All right, Shaq, so for a lot of travelers, this may be their first vacation in more than a year. What are you hearing from people coming to the Miami area?
Well, I'll tell you, Savannah, South Beach is pretty empty right now. It's just us. I'll let you take a look at some of the scenes behind me, these really tough conditions that I'm facing right now. But what we're expecting is these are scenes that mirror what you saw last year during this pandemic, in the sense that this beach, South Beach, was closed because of the pandemic, because of local officials trying to avoid those crowds in the middle of the pandemic. That is not going to be the case today. We expect crowds to start forming as soon as people start waking up. That will continue through the weekend. And what you're hearing is that this is one of the first times that some people are going to be traveling down here. While Florida has been fairly open for some time, many people coming into the area, for some of them, it'll be their first time really getting to experience a vacation, getting to experience some fun as this pandemic is starting to fade away. I was at Miami Airport yesterday, Miami International Airport, and I met a group of travelers actually leaving Miami, going off for their first vacation for some of them since the pandemic started. Just listen to some of the things they were telling me. What do you think when you see this many people in the airport?
This is going to take a long time to get through this line, and it seems like everything's kind of calmed down since COVID. Like this is a large group of people.
Does it feel like things are getting back to normal?
It does.
Yeah. It's packed, but we're here to enjoy ourselves. We've been quarantined for so long, and we're going as a group. We're being safe. We're staying together.
Is that part of why you're traveling this Memorial Day weekend, because you've been locked up for so long?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And then on a little bit of a more serious note, you have local officials also emphasizing vaccinations. There are vaccine pop-ups that will be all along the beach. There is that Air and Sea show this weekend, and they'll have a vaccination pop-up there where folks can just walk up, get their vaccine, no reservation required, and no questions asked. Savannah?
Yeah, Shaq, you said it yesterday, bringing the vaccine to where people are. It's what's helping us get some of these other people over that hump and get them vaccinated. Yeah, they're going to be at the beach. A reminder, it's only 8 a.m. there, so that's probably why there aren't crowds yet, but there certainly will be. Now, Shaq, you just mentioned this a second ago, that Florida's been open and busy for a while now. So what can people expect this weekend in the Sunshine State, especially for people who really haven't left their house in a year?
Yeah, those restrictions are pretty much gone. So you can expect a lot of activity in the Miami Beach area, really all across Florida. I mentioned that Air and Sea show. They're expecting big crowds for that. The big idea is compared to what we saw before. You know, last year it was county by county in terms of what beaches were open, what different towns were doing. This time it's pretty much open for anyone to come in and have a good time. And that's being encouraged in some sense. So you can expect to see those crowds come. Of course, health experts, I spoke to epidemiologists from the University of Florida earlier this week. They're still saying, you know, don't let your guard down completely, but I think that might be a tough sell for some of the people coming here for Memorial Day weekend, Savannah.
Yeah, so let's talk about kind of the last time that we saw some of that type of behavior. It was spring break, there were clashes with police, and a curfew went into effect. What's happening this time to avoid a repeat of that? I mean, there's obviously less restrictions to enforce, but what are they doing to keep everybody safe?
Yeah, the big problem there is that people did not want to abide by the restrictions that were in place back in March during the spring break, those spring break crowds. This time around, as you mentioned, there are fewer restrictions that officers have to enforce, but they are still stepping up their security measures. The local police is bringing in about 560 officers, most of them working 12-hour shifts during the weekend. You heard from the mayor here, who said that, you know, he's concerned that Miami Beach has been fomenting a party atmosphere. Those are his words. I mean, that's nothing new, but he's also concerned about that, and he's looking for ways to try to scale that down a little bit. So he knows that this will be a tough weekend. He said this will be a challenging weekend for local officials and for law enforcement, But he's also impaneling somewhat of a commission to look at different ways they can go about trying to dial down the temperature here on Miami Beach to scale it back a little bit so it's not as hectic and as chaotic as we've seen in the past. We'll see what happens this weekend, but we know that a lot of people will be coming down here specifically to have fun. So we'll see which one wins out by the end of the weekend.
Yeah, are you included in that, Shaq? Gonna have some fun while you're there?
We'll talk later, Savannah. I'll text you.
All right, and I know we'll be seeing the crowds behind you that will grow throughout the day here on NBC News Now. Thanks, Shaq.
Definitely.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.